Okay, everybody's spamming about the AsmonGold. Hold on. Wait, not kick. Not AsmonGold.
Like, this is just simply, it's just common sense.
That he and his audience barely thought of Israelis as humans. This dude just called babies militants.
Yeah. No, I understand. And there are baby settlers as well. But there are baby settlers as well. There are babies in the settlements.
Part of running defense for Hamas is downplaying the violence specifically.
Yeah, the thing is that the problem is, like, saying that there's babies in the settlement is, it's not bad on its own, but...
The gun was unloaded at first. When it's out of frame, you can hear her reloading. There's zero chance that she accidentally pulled back the... Not the holster, the slide. That's never happening on accident. That requires a decent amount of force. That's never happening, like, in that circumstance, I don't think.
It's the kind of cause and effect that action leads to. Both sides are targeting civilians. I don't think that it, like, I mean, I'm not a big Israel fan either. Like, I'm not gonna, like, if you tell me that Israel did something really bad, I'm not going to say, oh, well, but it was...
You can hear her load the magazine. Loading a magazine doesn't chamber a round. To chamber the round, you'd have to pull back the slide, and you're never doing that accidentally. That requires a decent amount of force. It should never be happening on accident.
Circumstance, if they did, I would massively condemn that. That would be evil. It would be horrible. It's so easy to it's so easy to be reasonable about this, isn't it? How is it hard to be reasonable about this?
So he had one chambered. He should. Most people that conceal carry, I believe, will have a round chambered. That's kind of the point of being able to conceal carry. Like in a self-defense gun use scenario, you want to be able to just pull your firearm and fire. You don't have to fucking pull it and make sure the magazine fucking rack the slide and like you're introducing like too much variance there, right? What if you're nervous in a situation like that and when you rack the slide, you introduce a whole bunch of potential failures there that you wouldn't want to have to deal with otherwise. Magazines inserted. Rack the slide, and you're ready to go. Put it in, carry condition 1 or 0 if it's cocked and locked, if you call it that, so that if you have to use it, you pull it from the holster, you aim, and you pull the trigger. That's all you have to think about. That's it.
The Palestinian resistance is not perfect. They're not, like, so good. They have magical bullets.
What are some of these? First, male survivor recounts rapes at the hands of Hamas terrorists. They pin you to the ground if you try to resist.
That's true, but a lot of people say not to carry one in the chamber on a Glock because the safety isn't really a safety. I think the rationale, depending on how much you want to jerk yourself off for gun people are, is that no safety is a safety. That a safety should never be preventing a firearm accident from happening, and if you're relying on the safety to prevent an accident from happening, you probably shouldn't be carrying a firearm or handling a firearm.
Easily expect this to happen. It's been happening forever.
Of course, if you compare the raw numbers, Gazans have lost a lot more than Israelis. 40,000 people have died, and neighborhoods have been completely flattened during this war. And while we should keep their plight at the top of our minds at all time, it also doesn't mean that we should disregard the lives of the Jewish people who are also affected by this, even if...
See, I think this is the reasonable perspective to have, and I think that most people probably see it this way. And I think that the language and the rhetoric of, like, the baby settlers, the, you know, not caring about the rapes.
You should require gun talkers to upload their concealed carry license for a flare. Well, now I think a lot of states, you don't even need a license to conceal carry, so who knows? People just don't have them anymore.
And it actually makes them less sympathetic to the civilians that are in Gaza that have been killed. I think it makes people way less sympathetic to it. And I feel like it's been massively counterproductive.
Glock sounds like a shit gun. It's a shit gun in that it's very boring and unexciting and kind of cheap, but they're like disgustingly reliable. There's a reason why law enforcement carries them. Like, they do their job exceedingly well. And you can put like fucking 10,000 rounds through a Glock and never fucking clean it or anything. And I think generally they're considered reliable to fire. They eat dirty ammunition. They eat good ammunition. Like, I think Glocks are just, they have a very good reputation, I believe, for reliability. It's not very sexy.
Israeli.
Yeah. And a lot of people don't want to touch a pistol with any polymer, plasticky bullshit on it anywhere. And there is something to be said for like handling like a full metal frame gun. Like, it feels cooler. It does. It feels heavier. It's cooler. But like Glocks are very, very reliable and like pretty cheap.
Was that I am in favor of a two-state solution while they are in favor of a one-state solution. Their theory is that after the October 7th attack, Israel should just dissolve its borders and let Hamas enter Israel unrestrained.
Borders.
What do you think Israel should have done in response to October 7th?
Instead of indiscriminately bombing Gaza, I think the first thing
I
to
wonder
do.
what would have happened. Like, I mean, let's ask the obvious question, right? What would have happened if Hamas had done that to people in China? Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
In that situation would be to dismantle the government in the way that it existed, like get Netanyahu out of power.
Okay. So you're saying Israel in
85%.
response. Hold on, dude. You're saying in response to this terrorist attack, Israel should have dismantled their own government.
First set of actions would be to democratically take Netanyahu out of power.
This position by Hasan is so stupid.
That
Oh my
Israel's
God.
been at war with its neighbors for 70 plus years, and it makes a lot of sense that there be some distrust there. Is it really insane to think that Jews, as an ethnic minority in Israel, would not be safe? After all, Israel is a country of refugees. If the Jews didn't come from Europe after the Holocaust, they came from the surrounding Arab countries that expelled them in massive amounts following the 1948 war. In fact, there was more Jews displaced than Palestinians during the Nakba. 1 million Jews. All of these.
A lot of this, by the way, I don't really have like a lot of I don't know all the history of this, so it's hard really for me to say this is true, that's not true. So I'm just gonna, I can let it play.
Why not just say I don't know any of the history of this? It's okay to say I know nothing, right?
comments or chat, but that's it.
surrounding Arab countries had vibrant Jewish communities in huge number, hundreds of thousands. Now,
Like I've seen the demographic change percentages and stuff like that.
I mean, at least he's saying he doesn't have some,
The fine print there is
that's
what I'm
okay, I
really
guess.
trying to get at.
look at them, you're looking at close to, if not literally, zero Jews left in these countries.
Just to give you an idea, here's a visual representation of the Jewish refugees after 1940.
Okay, I'm bored.
Yes,
Okay,
federal court in Mississippi just ruled that the federal ban on machine guns is unconstitutional. No, you can't go to Walmart and buy an M249 saw just yet. The case is United States v. Brown, and the decision comes from Judge Carlton Reeves, who applied the Supreme Court's ruling in New York State Rifle and Pistol Association v. Bruin to the federal machine gun ban. If you've been living under a rock for the past 3 years, Bruin held that the Constitution protects an individual's right to carry a firearm for self-defense, and that firearm regulations must be consistent with the historical tradition of firearms regulation in the U.S. to comport with the Second Amendment. Judge Reeves, great name, by the way. No wonder he's so intelligent. I'm only half joking. I've actually appeared before Judge Reeves even this year, as I'm licensed in state and federal courts in Mississippi. Most recently, it was in a case called Jones Group v. Zurich Insurance Company, which my partner Rich King and I won, but that's a boring insurance case.
Why is the Electro Voice instead of the SM7B? Honestly, because I just want to be a special cupcake. But I think both mics are good mics.
This is the real shit we're talking about right here. While we're talking about Mississippi, I am the U.S. Law Shield Independent Program Attorney for Louisiana and Mississippi, meaning if you get into a self-defense incident in Mississippi or Louisiana and you're covered by U.S. Law Shield, I am your lawyer. You get a couple of months of free coverage. My Range, Neutral Ground Gun Company, gets like $20 or $30 for every one of you that signs up using the code NGGC. You get a couple months free. I get a couple bucks. There you go. Another thing that makes this ruling especially interesting is Judge Reeves makes it abundantly clear in his decision he doesn't necessarily agree with this Bruin historical tradition test. I don't delve into politics on this channel. If I remember correctly, Judge Reeves, Obama appointee. If you assume that like Obama appointee, it must mean he must be a liberal. Again, that's just an assumption. Then you have to acknowledge what a hell of a judge he is, if that's true, to set aside his own personal beliefs, as he says in the decision. Seems like he doesn't agree with Bruin, but he does what he believes is legally correct anyways. So again, kudos to him. Defendant Justin Brown, charged with unlawful possession of a machine gun. His argument for why he can do that legally, because he's legally allowed to own a firearm. Clean criminal record, no drug habit, hasn't been involuntarily committed, no domestic violence history. Therefore, he should be allowed to possess a machine gun under the Second Amendment. It's pretty rare in Mississippi, right? Non-felon, doesn't smoke meth, no domestic violence charges, owning an unregistered machine gun. At the same time, somebody catch this mighty Mississippian stuff.
What's your opinion on Trump today prioritizing white South African refugees? You mean Musk? Because Elon Musk was definitely the one who gave him that idea, because that's definitely a big pet thing that he's had recently. So.
Violence charges, owning an unregistered machine gun at the same time. Somebody catch this mighty Mississippian, stuff him, and put him in the Smithsonian Museum in Jackson, Mississippi, because this son of a bitch is one of a kind. So what was the reasoning behind the decision then? Judge Reeves found that not only does private ownership of machine guns fit within the historical tradition of firearm ownership, but machine guns are not dangerous and unusual. Let's talk about dangerous and unusual. No, we're not just discussing my Pensacola Catholic High School gym coach. This test comes from District of Columbia v. Heller. The Supreme Court says that the Second Amendment does not protect weapons that are dangerous and unusual. While Heller was decided over a decade before Bruen, dangerous and unusual, that rationale was borrowed heavily in Bruen. So both Heller and Bruen stand for the idea that weapons that are dangerous and unusual can be banned without violating the Second Amendment. Judge Reeves agrees machine guns are dangerous, but he concludes they're not necessarily unusual. The record before him reflected over 740,000 machine guns in the United States. He also pointed out that the government failed to provide any historical evidence showing that banning machine guns would be consistent with firearm regulations from the founding era and subsequent to that. Judge Reeves also made it clear that he finds the Bruen test deeply concerning, his words, and believes that it will lead to confused and confusing lower court precedent. But despite his misgivings about it, he follows Bruen faithfully, ruled that 740,000 machine guns or 740,000 of anything is not small. It's not unusual. I think he wanted to say metric shit ton, but it wouldn't have been appropriate in this judicial opinion. So what happens next? This is where things get really interesting. This is a criminal case. This ruling only applies to Mr. Brown. Like I said, you can't go out to Walmart and buy yourself a Mac 10 just yet. But here's where things get fun. If the government appeals this ruling, which it may not, it'll go to the Fifth Circuit. Fifth Circuit, most conservative federal appellate court in the country. Slam dunk, gotta be, right? Not really. So a few years ago, client reaches out to me, says, James, I want to challenge the Hughes Amendment. I want to do it here in the Fifth Circuit. I said, no chance. Why did I say that? A case from 2016 called Hollis v. Lynch. In Hollis, the Fifth Circuit very explicitly held that machine guns can be banned without violating the Second Amendment. Why? Because they're dangerous and unusual. Judge Reeves acknowledged Hollis, but he says, aha, that decision came down years before Bruen, thus it's been abrogated by Bruen. I disagree, and I'm not the only one. There's actually a 2023 case, United States v. Simeon, which examined Hollis after Bruen, in light of Bruen, and ruled that even under Bruen, Hollis is still good law because Hollis already ruled machine guns are dangerous and unusual. That was a test before Bruen, that was a test after Bruen. Dangerous and unusual weapons can be banned. In other words, the Fifth Circuit has already ruled that machine guns dangerous and unusual. The Supreme Court in Bruen said it's okay to ban weapons that are dangerous and unusual, so pretty easy to see where this case would likely go if the Fifth Circuit took it up, unless they've had a change of heart. Well, not exactly. There's one other hitch. Judge Reeves raised...
Sorry, just real quick, as I see people type this all the time. Shot a machine gun last year. Why the fuck would a non-soldier ever need a machine gun to defend against a tyrannical government? The onus doesn't start on the individual to defend why they need a thing. It starts on the government defending why they would be able to ban it.
Is an important factual point that could throw a wrench in everything that I just said. In Hollis, the Fifth Circuit noted that there were 175,977 transferable machine guns in the U.S. at the time, and it ruled that this wasn't enough to be considered common. But in Brown, the record reflected that there were over 740,000 machine guns in the U.S. Why the disparity between these numbers? I believe in Hollis they were looking at only pre-86 individually transferable machine guns, while in Brown, that 740,000 number could be one of two things. It could either be transferable machine guns and like post-86 machine guns or machine guns that are held by SOTs that are in circulation but aren't pre-86 transferables, or there's a footnote, may have been footnote number 7, I believe, where Judge Reeves says something like 740,000 legal or illegal machine guns, seeming to indicate that he didn't distinguish between legally owned and illegal machine guns. But what he does say is that the record reflected 740,000 machine guns in the U.S., and the government didn't say, oh, we disagree with that number. That was the record before him. A judge has to make these determinations based on the facts before him. In the record, he says, my hands are tied. 740,000, that's a lot of guns. A federal court in Mississippi has teed up the question, if 175,000 machine guns, that's not enough to be considered in common use, is 740,000 enough to make a machine gun not unusual? If the Fifth Circuit takes it up, we might get a ruling on exactly what that threshold is. Machine guns are rare because the government banned them.
Has there ever been an actual event that justifies the second protects the first? No, I think most people say they're fucking retards. And they're the people that want to infringe on your First Amendment rights anyway, so...
1968 and 1986. Because they're rare, the government can ban them. Because they are banned, they are rare. You see that circular reasoning, not a legitimate historical tradition argument. Machine guns are only rare because of previous legislative decisions, not because of any historical tradition or lack of demand. Bruen requires that gun laws be justified by historical precedent, not the government pointing to its own restrictions as proof that those restrictions are required. We have these restrictions because of our restrictions. I've said it in videos before, I'll say it again. If any gun's protected by the Second Amendment, it would be the M16, full auto. That's the modern day equivalent of the Kentucky long rifle, arming our military and our civilians alike. Legally speaking, I think the M16 should be protected under the Second Amendment, if anything. But as I've also said before, the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade will roll through hell before the Supreme Court rules that machine guns, even the Supreme Court, will rule that machine guns are constitutionally protected. Just not gonna happen, but who knows? I could be wrong. Wouldn't be the first time. Guys, thanks as usual for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments. Fingers crossed, take care.
Wow. Here's my view. I obviously disagree with some of Elez's posts, but I don't think stupid social media activity should ruin a kid's life. We shouldn't reward journalists who try to destroy people ever. So I say bring him back. If he's a bad dude or a terrible member of the team, fire him for that. So wait, what exactly did this kid post? I don't even know what the original posts were. Apparently Vance and Ramaswamy were fighting over this. Are you going to tell him to apologize for saying normalize Indian hate before this rehire? Just asking for the sake of both of our kids. Rokana. Oh, no, I'm sorry, not Ramaswamy. Rokana and Vance were fighting on this. For the sake of both of our kids, grow up. Racist trolls on the internet, while offensive, don't threaten my kids. You know what does? A culture that denies grace to people who make mistakes. A culture that encourages congressmen to act like whiny children. Okay.
Yes, federal court in Mississippi just ruled that the federal ban on
This was the report. Doge staff resigns over racist post. Employee has links to a deleted social media account that advocated for racism and eugenics. Just for the record, I was racist before it was cool. The account posted in July, according to the journal's review of archived posts. July of last year. You cannot pay me to marry outside of my ethnicity, the account wrote on X in September. Normalize Indian hate, the account wrote the same month in reference to a post, noting the prevalence of people from India and Silicon Valley. Oh, Doji, not Doge, true. What's the conservative steelman to this? Why do you... I'm 99% of Indian H-1Bs will be replaced by slightly smarter LLMs. They're going back. Don't worry, guys. Damn. The real meme is that if 99% of Indian H-1Bs are going to be replaced by slightly smarter LLMs, I feel like there's a lot of junior devs that would probably also be next on the chopping block. But I don't know, I could be wrong. Or maybe they'd even be first on the chopping block. Who knows? Who knows? You didn't read his Israel and Gaza comment? I feel like I need to see a totality of the account to have a strong opinion. I mean, those sound like bad comments, though. In June, the user weighed in on the conflict in the Middle East, offering some sympathy for Israel, but also posting, I would not mind at all if Gaza and Israel both wiped off the face of the earth. I read this. I don't know. I would need to see more. Maybe I'm too internet poison, but these are lightweight comments, okay? Destiny, that's fairly unrealistic. While LLMs can code, understanding the architecture beneath it is just too complex for them, as opposed to junior devs that have a super thorough and intricate understanding of all the architecture beneath what they're working on, or... The NIH announced it will slash billions of dollars of support to universities and research centers. This is one of the biggest attacks on science we've ever seen. It could dismantle the biomedical research system, shut down clinical trials, and halt development of treatments. Okay, well... Well, I thought we didn't want Big Pharma funding their own medical trials. So if the government doesn't do it and Big Pharma doesn't do it, who's going to be funding it? Destiny, I mean, what junior devs have you worked with? They mostly can understand the architecture fairly quickly. Well, I'm not a retard, so I don't hire junior devs. The only positions I hire for are senior devs. So I just hire people and call them senior devs so they understand everything. Dipshit. Ethan has committed a Butlerian jihad against Hasan. What absolutely fucking disgusting scum and villainy is this? Have you no fucking shame at all? You people are monsters. Denying rape isn't enough for these demons. Now they deny a girl committed suicide on her birthday as a survivor of the Nova Rape Massacre. Your movement, not Palestinian liberation, is evil, and I will make it my life's goal to expose, ruin, and humiliate you and your movement. Just wait. What is this Butlerian jihad? I don't understand that. Okay. It's in Dune when they killed the thinking machines. Okay. So this has nothing to do with butlers? It's just Butlerian? Oh, the Butlerian jihad. Gotcha. Holy fucking huge angle camera. Or what do you call these? Fisheye lenses? The robots were the butlers. It's Sneeko Dog. LLMs can barely write coherent code for anything that isn't algorithms or data types taught in first-year university. Replacing junior devs will easily take 10 years at the least. I thought that integrating AI into programmer work had already been like a pretty significant thing. That's already happened quite a bit. No? This is not a fisheye lens. The dog's face is just like that. Based.
.300 blackout. 5.56. Two wildly different rounds firing out of the same frame. In fact, 300 blackout is simply a necked up 5.56 to 30 cal. 300 blackout has been around for a little while at this point, isn't that right, Micah?
Yeah, it just exists.
It exists. You know, ever since the Honey Badger came out, was in Call of Duty, I have loved 300 blackout, but...
Oh my god. I just realized that if you wear like full... These aren't called fatigues, right? Whatever your army military camo is, you look like a fucking loser. But if you put on a headband, all of a sudden you look fucking sick as fuck. Am I just being biased because of Metal Gear Solid? Oh my god, he just needs a fucking eye patch. The Rambo effect? Oh fuck, I guess Rambo had it. It helps that he's not ugly?
Point, isn't that right, Micah?
Yeah, just
Sure.
fighting any optics you need for your 300 blackout.
Yeah.
Do you know that Demolition Ranch is retiring? Oh no, are they the people who had the one shooter kid was wearing one of their shirts? Is that related at all to this, or?
Do you like the dramatic chair entrance? Yeah, it's a YouTuber. Do you like the dramatic chair entrance? Yeah, it's a YouTuber thing. Hey, I'm going to retire,
Oh no.
and I'm going to sell the resort property.
Wait, this guy has 4.5 million subs. Why is this fucking video so quiet? Fuck you guys.
You saw that in the title of this video. You probably assumed they were clickbait. They are not, unfortunately. Well, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it. And I'll explain. But yeah, not clickbait. And I want to explain, but I want to start more from the beginning. So for those who don't know, I think it'll make more sense. I am a YouTuber, and I've been a YouTuber for a long time.
That's the second channel, by the way. Destiny, the bro is huge.
I actually started this channel in 2007. That was right around the time when YouTube was bought by Google. And back then, YouTube was totally different. You could not get famous on YouTube. You could not get an audience on YouTube. You could not make money on it on YouTube. There were not ads. I started a channel just because I liked it. I wasn't trying to get famous. I just thought it was cool. And I would share videos with my friends. They look like this.
Wait, so is he just quitting this channel, or is he quitting this and the main channel? Yes, it's real, and yes, Demolition Ranch too. Oh. Wait, so fuck you guys. He's quitting both. Watch the video and find out. Is it one of those bait videos?
That was my Corvette. We just did dumb stuff and filmed it and sent it to each other. And then YouTube rolled out with ads and said, you can make money if you click this button. So I clicked, yep, turn on the ads. That's cool. And no big deal. But I, a broke college student at this time, started making some money. Every morning I'd wake up and look at my phone. And I did this like in bed. Like it was the first thing I did. I was like, sleepy eyes. Whoa, 12 cents last night. I made 12 cents while I was asleep. Not bad. Whoa, 7 cents last night. Cool. Whoa, 24 cents. That was a big night. And it was fun. I thought it was so cool. And then everything changed. My little brother found a baby deer, and he took it home and gave it to my little sister, who bottle fed and raised this baby deer. She raised it alongside my family's black lab, and they became really good friends. And one day she filmed what they always do. They just would play. And so she filmed them, and they're playing in the front yard with a soccer ball. And she showed me the video, and it was super cute. And I was like, hey, I make a few cents every night. So if you want, I can upload this to my channel. And because back then, no one knew there was any money on YouTube. Like, no one had any idea. But I was like, I have a channel. It's already making money, like dollars a year. I told her this video could make like 50 bucks, and I'll split it with you. And she was like, sweet, do it. And so I uploaded it. And then one morning, I wake up sleepy-eyed, look at my phone, and I'm like, does that say $7? I made $7 last night. And then I'm like, that says $700. That freaking video made $700 in one night. And I was hooked. I already was obsessed with YouTube before I could make money on it. And then when I made $700, at this time I was a veterinary student. I was in vet school, super broke at that time. And so I started filming every cute animal.
Vet school? That's not how you become a vet. If you're doing guns, you should know this. That's for serving in the military. What?
I could find, here's a hawk. Oh, badass. That video was terrible. As were all the other ones. None of them went viral. I didn't know at the time. Now I know. You can't just make a viral video happen. I thought I could because I had done it before, but I realized it's like an unplanned thing that actually goes viral. Not a planned thing. And so I couldn't do it. Finally, I was like, screw this. I'm just going to make videos of things I like. And so I started Demolition Ranch to make gun videos. That was in 2011, so I was still in vet school at this time. I made some gun reviews, some like comparison videos. I just did some tests, like nothing crazy. Until a buddy and me were like, let's take all the birdshot out of a shotgun shell and fill it up with weird things and fire that and see what it does. Custom homemade shotgun shells. That went viral. It was crazy.
Wait, do vets have to know like all the animals? Or is there ever a time where you go to the vet and you're like, oh, my dog is dying. And they're like, oh, fuck, I only know cats. I can't do anything about your dog. Or if you go to like a big vet and like I have a rabbit and they're like, oh my God, we only do cats and dogs and hamsters. I can't do anything about rabbits. They specialize? How specialized do you have to be? Like, can you be just a cat vet or a dog vet? Like how some doctors specialize in stuff, Destiny, no? Oh, wait. Is there like a cat cardiologist? Or is like every vet supposed to be like know the whole part of the animal? Or like this dog looks like it has these are pulmonary issues and I just do internal medicine for dogs.
And I'd been making videos
like
for a
I have
while.
to take my dog to the dog oncologist. There's no way that's a real thing, right? Or it might be. I have no idea.
Custom homemade shotgun shells. That went viral. It was crazy. And I'd been making videos for a while before that happened. So there was a big gap, like years in between dog versus deer, custom homemade shotgun shell. And I started getting subscribers, and it was crazy. And then another year went by and I had another viral video. And then 6 months later, another viral video. And by 2013, I'm out of vet school this time, and I have more free time because I'm not a student anymore. And I was like, I'm gonna actually put some effort into these videos, make the videos good. And so I started like working harder on them and making them good. And that, of course, made them grow even more. So we started getting more subscribers and more views, and it started taking off. And then in 2014, I started Vet Ranch because I'm a veterinarian and I do really cool stuff there, and I thought people would like to see it. And they did, and that started growing. And then I was thinking, well, I do a bunch of other cool stuff, like car stuff, and I build things, and I like fixing up houses. I'll put all that on the Off the Ranch channel, because it's off the Demolition Ranch and off the Vet Ranch. It's a perfect idea. And then that channel took off. And then pretty soon, Demolition Ranch gets on the same level as all the other big gun channels that I'd always been watching. I never thought I would get to their level. I didn't even plan to. It just kind of happened that now I'm up here with all these channels that I revered. And that was crazy. And then it kept going, and it passed everyone. And we became the largest firearms channel on YouTube. And then Vet Ranch became the largest veterinary channel on YouTube. And then Off the Ranch just kept growing as well, and it was crazy. And we surpassed every single goal, aspiration, or even dream I ever had, even idea. I never even had an idea this would happen. And we just passed it all. And it was awesome. Super fun. When you're doing really good on YouTube, you're your own boss, you make a good income, everyone tells you you're awesome. It feels good. So we kept on going for years and years and years and years. And so now I'm like, why am I still doing this? I love YouTube. I've loved it. But I've surpassed every goal I've ever had.
Wait, this is abuse. Sorry, hold on. We'll come back to this guy.
Had with it. And my wife and I realized recently, and it sounds stupid to say we realized, but we really did. We realized our kids are getting old really fast. And they're not going to be in our house a whole lot longer. And that's hit us real hard. And I know that in the next few years, when all of our kids leave our house and we're empty nesters, I'm not going to look back and say, I wish I made more YouTube videos. I'm going to look back and say, I'm glad I slowed down a little bit and look.
Cringe, bro. Anybody can have kids. And you can just have more kids. Who cares? You can't always make YouTube videos, though. Let's be real.
Around. And so I want to slow down and I want to look around. I'm wound up pretty tight. I'm always thinking, I'm always doing stuff, as you guys who have been watching for 18 years probably know. And so I don't think I can like half do YouTube. So I'm gonna completely quit. I'm nervous. I'm sad because I love it. I'm sad and I'm freaking out. But overall, I'm really excited. Yeah, we're ending a chapter that's been a great chapter, and we're gonna start another one, and I don't know what that looks like. The resort being for sale is actually the reason that I'm having to make the whole video about me quitting YouTube, is because I hadn't really planned on saying that yet, because I just decided it like a week ago. It just clicked in my brain that this is something I need to do. But we did list the resort for sale a few days ago, and you guys instantly saw the resort online and were like, is this real? Is this a scam? Like, what's going on here? And so I need to tell you the truth and tell you what's going on, but it is for sale. If it sells, great. That'll make retirement even easier. If it doesn't sell, great. I probably will keep working on it.
He must have enough money to retire, right? My guess is this guy's worth probably at least like 8 figures. He's at least $10 million, no? That'd be my guess, just looking at the amount of subs and everything. And the Demolition Ranch channel. Oh, he deleted like all of his videos. He's doing about 5 million views a month. Oh shit, wait, maybe not actually. Hold on. Demolition Ranch. Demolition Ranch. Oh, maybe not actually. I have no idea. Maybe he does ad reads and stuff. Who knows? Oh, and merch sales. True. Yeah. Why would he delete? I don't know. I don't know why you wouldn't want to just make passive income off the videos. Or maybe he didn't delete it, he privated them. But still, why private them? I don't know.
Without a camera in my hand. Also, I do want to say, if you do have an Airbnb reservation for Love Shack or Freedom House or Farmhouse, don't worry, you're safe. It's going to take a long time to change ownership of this place. And so we are for sure good through the summer. After that, I'm not.
He built his own mansion on a huge property. He could have retired a long time ago. I'm not going to be able to tell you current rates, but like that means different things. That just can mean something very different based on what you're talking about. Like if I were to go back to Glendale, there were homes, this is in like northern LA, that cost like $800,000 that were just pieces of shit, small properties, small land or whatever. But if I were to go back to Nebraska and go out west a bit, I could spend $800,000 probably even today and build a fucking mansion. It would be insane. Like probably like personal theater, like home theater, like fucking 20 rooms, like it would be huge. That'd be my guess. Like, so it depends on where he's at. Like land and where you build is probably one of the most determinative factors in terms of how much shit would cost. Yeah.
Not sure how it's going to work, but throughout the summer, probably through August, your reservations are safe. Please don't cancel them. Actually, book more if you like, because they're also operational. Tiny house, we're still about to open that one up. So, and then also camping. We're gonna have camping pretty soon out here, and so those are all still good. Everything's still operational. I will still be out here working all summer. Guests are still gonna be out here all summer. It's just the videos that are going to stop. That's it. So for those who have been here for 1 month or 18 years,
you can retire easily with $800K. At what age? $800,000 retirement? I don't know about that.
Thanks for being part of it. Thanks for being part of the ride. And I don't think I'm coming back. I think I'm done. I think I'm gonna fade from the limelight and see what I'm like, not as a YouTuber. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like I'm too young to stop working. I just want to stop working as a YouTuber. I might be a veterinarian again. I still have my license. I know this is a shock since you just came and you see that I'm quitting, and I'm like, later, I'm never coming back. You are in luck because I'm not leaving right now. I still need to do some stuff. I need to tie up some loose ends. We have a few companies we're working with that I need to finish out some contracts with. I want to finish the Hummer build before I leave because I don't like leaving that thing half finished because it's close. There's a few things I'm going to do. So we will still be making videos for 2 months, but we are winding down. Plus I want to make sure we have time to find places for my crew to go here because I love these guys and working with me for a long time, and we got to figure out what they're doing. We still have lots of stuff to do outside the videos, but it's going to be getting smaller and smaller without videos. And so we got to figure that out as well. So we have some time. You and I still have some time. Boom, boom.
Wow.
Demolition Ranch, off the ranch, done. Whew. Thanks for watching.
Well, thank
I
you.
do love you. And I'll see you tomorrow. I'm not leaving yet. 2-minute warning. Then we're going home. Do not make me tell you again. Get your shoes on.
Okay. I almost made one of these videos a few weeks ago. Just kidding. If you're retired right now, how much a month would you have? $1 million a month. Click the full HD Iron Man video. You know why you can't watch clips of like Marvel movies on fucking YouTube? Wait, there's not even an Iron Man video on here. Oh, this. These like, when it says like full HD whatever bullshit, all of them are artificially boosted to 60 FPS.
Yeah, well, I need your help right now.
It's funny how that works.
Oh, but they didn't do it to this one. Good job.
Speaking of funny, we've got a weapon.
I can't believe they replaced this actor with the other guy. Why did they do that? What happened? Also, I don't understand. When Iron Man was trying to fly away from these jets, why didn't he just like turn left and right? Like, I feel like he probably has a lot more maneuverability than they do. Why did he just go straight? Seems like the dumbest thing in the world to do, no? He asked for more money and didn't get it? Rip. Oh, wait, I just realized this is Terrence Howard. Fuck me, I just clicked on the... I knew who it was, but I just remembered it was the 1 + 1 = 3 guy or whatever. Fuck. Oh, man. Jesus, what a world we live in. What percentage of your YouTube money comes from views on old videos? Any guess? I don't know, probably less than 10%. New York Judge Paul Engelmayer just forbade all political appointees, including Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, from accessing the Department of Treasury data, all based on Blue Anon conspiracy theories. Okay. Those theories couldn't be challenged because the order was ex parte, meaning Trump's lawyers weren't warned and couldn't weigh in. Only Democrat attorney generals were allowed to argue. The judge cites no law or logic to support this unprecedented order because it defies both. The judge's ruling is, in essence, that Scott Bessent simply occupies a ceremonial position without real power, like the King of England. This is a grenade thrown into the functioning of the Treasury Department. It forbids the elected government from accessing information about budget and finances. Instead, only the permanent deep state government can know what's being spent. It means Scott Bessent's subordinates have far more power than Scott Bessent does. Democrat pundits who whine about the Constitution are liars and will shred it in the first chance they get. For now, the order is only for the next week, but if a court tries to make it permanent, the Trump admin should absolutely consider defying it. That's treason. Do things. Better yet, SCOTUS should bar this judge from ever hearing similar cases again, and every Democrat lawyer involved should be sanctioned. What the fuck is Blue Anon? Who knows? Another name for the deep state? I could go and look up this order, but my guess is every single legal thing he said here is completely and totally fucking incorrect. So, but what's even the fucking point, I guess? Stop linking Kanye West tweets, okay? Jesus. The lie is that it's about fucking Musk that has been blocked. Do I ever want to look up this order? Can you read the Ethan Klein lawsuit? The really old one? Or is there a new one? Or what do you mean? State of New York, State of Arizona, State of California, State of Colorado, State of Connecticut, Delaware. These are all the states that are suing. These are the plaintiffs are suing Donald J. Trump in his official capacity as President of the United States, U.S. Department of the Secretary, and Scott Bessent in his official capacity as Secretary of the Guy. The court, sitting in its Part 1 capacity, this evening received an application for a temporary restraining order filed by the Attorneys General of the 19 states identified as plaintiffs above. The state's lawsuit challenges a new policy by the U.S. Department of Treasury at the direction of the President and the Secretary of the Treasury, which, as alleged, expands access to the payment systems of the Bureau of Fiscal Services to political appointees and special government employees. The states contend that this policy, among other things, is what inter alia means, right? Yeah. That the states contend that when you do law, you just have to put random Latin everywhere, as long as you're smart. Fuck these losers. The states contend that this policy, inter alia, violates the Administrative Procedure Act in multiple respects, exceeds the statutory authority of the Department of the Treasury, violates the Separation of Powers Doctrine, and violates the Take Care Clause of the United States Constitution. The states seek declaratory and injunctive relief. An injunction means you're trying to prevent somebody from doing something. Declaratory relief, what does that mean? Declaratory relief refers to a court's declaratory judgment stating the rights of parties without ordering any specific action or listing awards for damages. Declaratory relief allows a party who is not certain of his rights to prevent the accrual of avoidable damages and to obtain an adjudication before the parties bring a coercive lawsuit. Declaratory relief can be contrasted with coercive relief, where the court orders a party to pay monetary damages or take certain action under injunctive relief. Okay. So they want the courts to make a statement on like, hey, you guys can't really do this, right? Later this evening, upon the state's successful filing of their submissions, this matter was assigned on a permanent basis to the Honorable Jeanette A. Vargas, U.S. District Judge. The court has reviewed the affirmation of Colleen K. Faherty, dated February 7th, 2025, in support of the state's motion for a temporary restraining order. The state's memorandum of law in support of that motion, the state's motion for a temporary restraining order, The court's firm assessment is that for the reasons stated by the states, they will face irreparable harm in the absence of injunctive relief. That is both because of the risk. So one of the ways that you can get a preliminary injunction, I think, so like an injunction before the case has happened, is because you're saying, if they go through with this action, you're never going to be able to make me whole again. The point of the courts is to make you whole in these types of cases, civil cases, right? Make me whole. And if you allow them to go through with this, then I'm fucked. So I need a preliminary injunctive relief. Now, these are really hard to get. A judge has to look at it and think that you're likely to succeed in the case. The judge has to make that decision, and it sounds like they have. So here is the proof that or this is the statement that's both because the risk of the new party presents of the disclosure of sensitive and confidential information and the heightened risk that the systems in question will be more vulnerable than before to hacking. The court's further assessment is that, again, for the reasons given by the states have shown a likelihood of success on the merits of their claims, with the states' statutory claims presenting as particularly strong. So the judge is agreeing that there would be irreparable harm by leaking this information, and they're likely to succeed on the merits of the case. Yeah. The court's further assessment is that the balance of the equities, for the reasons stated by the states, favors the entry of emergency relief. The court accordingly orders that the defendants show cause before the Honorable Janet A. Vargas at courtroom 14C, blah, 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 why an order should not be issued pursuant to Rule 65 of the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure, preliminarily enjoining the defendants during the pendency of this action from granting to political appointees, special government employees, and any government employee detailed from an agency outside the Treasury Department access to the Treasury. So these are for employees outside of the Treasury Department. And so this is saying that they can submit, the defendants can submit an order, or I'm sorry, they can file a motion to contest this order, because right now people outside of the Treasury Department have been injunctively blocked from having access to it. Okay. Department payment systems or any other data maintained by the Treasury Department containing personally identifiable information, and further orders that sufficient reason having been shown therefore, pending the hearing of the state's application for a preliminary injunction pursuant to Rule 65 of the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure, the defendants are 1, restrained from granting access to any Treasury Department payment record, payment systems, or any other data systems maintained by the Treasury Department containing personally identifiable information and or confidential financial information of payers, other than to civil servants with a need for access to perform their job duties within the Bureau of Fiscal Services, who have passed all background checks and security clearances and taken all information security training called for in federal statutes and Treasury Department regulations. 2, restrained from granting access to all political appointees, special government employees, and government employees detailed from an agency outside the Treasury Department to any Treasury Department payment record, payment systems, or any other data systems maintained by the Treasury Department containing personal information. And 3, ordered to direct any person prohibited above from having access to such information, records, and systems, but who has had access to such information, records, systems since January 20th, to immediately destroy any and all copies of material downloaded from the Treasury Department's records and systems, and if any orders that any opposition submission by defendants be filed by 5 p.m. on Tuesday, February 11th. So they have 3 days to file a motion countering this, and then any reply by the states be filed by 5 p.m. on Thursday, February 13th. Orders that personal service of a copy of this order and the state's above described affidavit, memorandum of law, and complaint be filed upon the defendants or their counsel on or before February 8th, 2025. By service just means it's been delivered officially. The states forthwith serve these, so they're on notice. Serve these materials by email on government counsel. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Okay, wait. So what's the point of so Charlie Kirk is just wait, hold on. Is an officer or the head of a department considered part of that department? Like, is the Attorney General considered part of the Department of Justice, or do these people exist on top of and aren't part of the Department of Justice? The reason why I ask is because that would mean that Charlie Kirk's tweet here, if this is the Treasury Secretary, Scott Bessent, he would have access to all of this. If I'm assuming the Treasury Secretary is part of the Department of Treasury, right? So he's just lying here. Those theories couldn't be challenged because the order was ex parte, meaning Trump's lawyers weren't warned and couldn't weigh in. Well, it's a preliminary injunction. Aren't these always? There wouldn't be much point. Well, I don't know, actually. Let's read. In legal ethics, is it ex parte or is it ex parte? I don't know how to pronounce this bullshit. Refers to improper contact with a party or a judge. Ethical rules typically forbid a lawyer from contacting the judge or the opposing party without the other party's lawyer also being present. A breach of these rules. Ex parte refers. Okay, in civil procedure, this is what we're looking for. Ex parte is used to refer to motions for orders that can be granted without waiting for a response from the other side. Generally, these are orders that are only in place till further hearings can be held, such as a temporary restraining order. Somebody in chat said, TROs can be ex parte, preliminary injunctions can't. Is that true? Can preliminary injunction be ex parte. Rule 65. Injunctions and restraining orders. Preliminary injunction. The court may issue a preliminary injunction only on notice to the adverse party. Okay, so they serve them, so that's notice, right? I'm guessing that's what notice means, right? Before or after beginning the hearing on a motion for preliminary injunction, the court may advance the trial on the merits and consolidate it without the hearing, even when consolidation is not ordered. Evidence that is received by the motion would be admissible. Trial becomes part of the trial record and need not be repeated at trial. Where is the I don't believe you. I don't believe you unless you link me something. I think you're just lying. I don't understand why Scott Bessent wouldn't have a preliminary injunction lasts for the entire case. A TRO lasts only until the preliminary injunction. It's super short term. Sure. Fuck. Do I bother responding to this? Does it even matter? I don't know. Let me use the restroom. Hold on one sec. I feel like it's just like a fucking fire hose of bullshit. One sec.